Well, the plan for this weekend was for us to do one night in the tent on a campsite and then one night stealth car camping in Cambridge city centre. But with a yellow heat warning in place, we were thinking, actually, you know what? Stealth car camping in that heat, that's probably going to be a little bit too much. But what this does mean is that we can do something that we've literally never done before, and that is a proper mini tent camping break. Now, this does have a number of benefits. Firstly, I get to test out quite a lot of my wild camping gear. Secondly, we get to take all this along. And thirdly, and Steve, this one's just for you, we don't have to worry about the toilet. And of course, the other great thing about tent camping is that you can pack so much more stuff. And that is us pretty much set up, and it was a rather fantastic drive down, it must be said. It's definitely the advantage of going on a Thursday meant that even the M25 was relatively quiet, albeit that one person that tried to ruin our whole weekend away by pulling out in front of me. Other than that, you can see it's quite a nice little contained site, just a small little field basically. So we're just going to go down, have a look at the toilets, see what they're like, and then it's 8:30 now, so we'll probably get some food on and then carry on drinking alcohol. But it is a lovely evening, and the location certainly is very nice, and the price of this place is only £25. There's 2 toilets here and a shower block, and they're more than satisfactory, but they have such an awesome view. You want to go to the toilet just for the view. There's also your customary chemical toilet disposal, you've got a recycling bin and some normal bins, and to be honest, it is just a lovely little basic site. Yeah, we like it. Now, time for food. A little baggy thing. I don't know. It is there. Definitely somewhere. You can't miss him. Well, considering how organised me and Mrs. Hobbies normally are, this is kind of quite thrown together. So we haven't planned anything particularly well. We've just literally shoved stuff into boxes and gone. Because like I say, the advantage of this was you can pretty much take whatever you want because we have so much room. So it is proper luxury, but it is good how much of our car camping stuff can be used for camping. I mean, basically I'm looking around and it's pretty much all the same stuff. And I love this tent, and we never get to use this because we're never on a campsite. But right, I need to get on with my food because it is now 9 o'clock. So all I've got for my food is I've literally chucked in a bowl a couple of gammon steaks, a couple of sausages, and some random chicken mince. So let's get on with that. And whilst we do that, we'll carry on with our drinks. And this is, of course, what you call a proper keto dinner. Well, as you can see, Mrs. Hobbies is totally keeping it real, and she's going for a proper pot noodle. Well, bachelor super noodle anyway. Whereas me...
Oh, it doesn't even have to be a big bag, just something we can put things into.
So something we did to be on the safe side is we took a lot of our actual car camping stuff. Now, just in case Mrs. Hobbies finds it just a little bit too snug inside the tent, she can basically come in the car and it's fully set up for a solo setup as well. This is a super pleasant end to the evening. Well, you've probably just noticed it is only me in the tent tonight. No, don't worry, we haven't had a massive falling out. Basically, we've only ever tested the tent together inside our house when we first put it up, but we've never actually tried sleeping in it. And basically, Mrs. Hobbies is finding it a bit too claustrophobic because the way these come in, it means when there's two people in here, it's right in your face basically. So she's going to sleep in the car tonight. I want to sleep in here because this is my first time in the tent other than when I've been in the garden. So it's a good way for me to test all the bits and bobs that I've got. But what I'll do tomorrow night, I'll go in the car as well and we'll have a car camp on a campsite basically. And clearly I suspect I left the bug flap open a little bit too long. So I will be sleeping with a number of creepy crawlies and moths. It is 7:15, and as you can see it is really bright in here. But luckily I had an extra pillow, so it was pitch dark last night. I slept okay, I think, and my little Timu blow up mattress that had survived the night, and that was comfortable as well, so it's been win-win. But I suppose I better get up because Mrs. Hobbies is in the car and I know she doesn't like lying down like I do, so as much as I could just lie here and snooze for a couple of hours, I know she won't be very comfortable in the car, so I suppose we better get up, make a coffee and yeah, have some breakfast.
There's my little moth friend from last night. He's chilling over here. Well, and it is a rather fantastic morning, and I've just found the site's got a really nice little seating area over in the corner. A couple of benches, a couple of chairs, fire pits, nice little pond feature, and it's just in general a really nice little contained site. Everything about it is just right. The toilets are good and clean. The camping area is small but perfectly formed, and it only allows, I think, 9 pitches in total. Well, this would be one of the massive benefits of having a solar panel set up. Basically, it doesn't matter if your campsite doesn't have an electric hookup, because as long as the sun is blazing in the sky like it is now, you can put some juice back in. That really was a magnificent shower. One of the great things about this break so far is that I'm getting to use loads of things I've never used before. We have my rather fantastic magnetic carabiner that came from Temu, my rather excellent Kevin the carrot bag, got used for the dishwashing, and even my little multi-tool Mrs. Hobby's just used to cut down that bit of thorny bush thingy here. Well, we've had a fantastically chilled morning, just relaxing, drinking coffee, having a shower, but it is now 11 o'clock, so I suppose we best scoot off and go and explore Cambridge. And this is me saying, welcome to Cambridge. Unfortunately, my microphone stopped working for some reason in this bit. Well, this certainly is the proper ye old part of Cambridge. everyone loves a free museum. Well, it's been a lovely few hours here in Cambridge, but I think the plan is now to kind of walk back to where the car is, but maybe find a Sainsbury's on the way to pick up a little bit of grub for when we get back to the campsite. Well, we're back to the campsite and the gin is flowing. There's a few more people here. There's a groovy little tent box on a transit over there, but it's still relatively quiet. But that's the advantage of it being such a small site. There's never going to be too many people here. So last night you saw Mrs. Hobby's solo setup. Tonight, this is our couple setup. Now this is what I call my basic car camping setup. So we literally just have the foams, and it's the setup where the seats are pushed all the way back. So that does mean for both of us that we're going to be sleeping with crooked legs, but it's cool because at least we both get to do a little couples car camp in addition to what we did last night. Oh, and by the way, I've had a few more gins. They are flowing a lot, quite fast at the minute. So anyway, I will see you again after a few more gins. Well, we've made some friends over in the corner, and we are currently now, well, I'm currently trying to convince them to do stealth camping because they have a rather cool little tent box and a stealth fan, but they've never stealth camped. They've only ever camped on campsites. So my mission for tonight, whilst consuming vast amounts of gin, is to convince them to stealth.
That's why with the northern lights the cameras can see it, but the naked eye can't. This is because they can absorb a lot more light than the human eye can.
It's a lot more room not having the bases on.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. You can't stretch out.
You can't stretch out, but the amount of headspace is a lot more.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's not.
Look.
Oh, well, I mean, headspace as in space sitting up, yeah, but...
Well, we have reached the end of the night. The gin flew. The gin flowed very well. We made some friends. I think I have successfully convinced them to look at stealth camping. It is probably now time for us to go to sleep. So we will see you in the morning. It's another fantastic morning here. The sun is absolutely blazing, and what better way to start the day than with a bit of spam and eggs, oh, and mushrooms as well. But as for now, I think the plan is we're going to very slowly get ready and then pack the gear up and then possibly go somewhere else on the way home. So the plan for this weekend was to do one night on a campsite and one night stealth camping, and actually I think, to be fair, what we've managed to do is, well, I've managed to get the best of both worlds. I've spent one night in a tent and one night with Mrs. Hobbies in the car, and to be honest, I think the fact that we didn't have to move has made this a proper chilled break where, yeah, we've just got up, mooched around, been lazy, and just totally relaxed. Now this time of year for Mrs. Hobbies and myself is a particularly tough time. There is an anniversary, but for us this weekend, or these 2 nights, have been absolutely wonderful. We've had a really nice time. It's taken our mind off stuff and it's just been nice. And I think that's the whole thing with car camping. I always say it's just getting out and doing it, because it is a chance to have a break, it is a chance for a reset, and for something like this, it is for all intents and purposes a proper holiday. And even though sleep apnea has pretty much deprived me of 2 nights sleep consecutively, it's my worst sleep apnea ever on this break, but even though I haven't slept for 2 nights for that reason, I do, looking out at this landscape, still feel really refreshed, like we've had a proper holiday. But I am tired and I am rambling, so I'm gonna head back to the car. And this, you see, is why you need your wife to pack the car up, because everything slots in nicely, especially as I took way too much stuff, half of which we didn't use, including the rice cooker, but everything is nicely stowed away, so you just pull this over and job's a good one. But as for now, it's time for us to go home, so until next time, take care.